everybody, it's Emily from Life Sew Savory, and today I'm going to be showing you how to take an embroidery design from your computer or wherever you're downloading them and transfer it to your machine. Now, some of the higher level machines do have Wi-Fi and you can do this wirelessly, but I'm going to show you how to transfer it using a USB stick. And then we're gonna do a little embroidery. So that is what the plan is for today. I'm super excited about it. I'm glad you're here. I hope you'll say hi and let me know what you're up to today as we get started on this project. So let me go ahead and do my edits and do my shares, and then we can get started. So I don't know, the video's looking weird on my computer. So yeah, so like the description says, today I'm gonna walk through getting a design from iBroidery. You can download them from many places online, and your machine also has some built-in stitches, which are fabulous too, and I definitely use those often, especially when I just want something quick and easy. But where is this? But today we're going to show how you can take from iBroidery and then put it onto your machine. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and just, sorry, I'm trying to, it's not showing up. Oh, there it goes. Okay. We are going to do this here and get started. Sorry. So, yep, I see it, Patty. I'm trying to take care of that right now as I'm also doing this. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to block. So I know, Mary. I can't see. Okay. I should. I think I took care of it. I think I blocked him. Well, let me know if you guys see it again. Okay, so, sorry. That took me a couple seconds to figure that out. Sorry, guys. And now what is going on? I just want to edit this, and it's being weird. Oh my goodness. So, what are we doing here? Okay, wow. Since I last did this, Facebook has totally changed how I edit this. So, sorry. Just trying to update this. Update. Now how do I hit save? Oh, I love when they just change everything on me. Well, I may or may not be editing my description. I don't know. Oh, save. Okay, goodness. And now back. Okay, ladies. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple shares. If you want to share this to your timeline, that would be awesome too. Do you see another one? Oh goodness. Are we still having comment troubles? Sorry, all right, let me check again. I know, okay. Let's see. Same. I know, but I went and I I banned him from the page and the stream. Okay, so I think, oh goodness. All right, well, see if you see it. Hopefully it's no more. I only see those 2 comments that I got rid of, I think. Sorry, ladies. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of shares here right now, and then we can go ahead and get started. So I'm all right, so I would love to know how many of you either currently do machine embroidery, or those of you that it's something that you're interested in and you haven't had a chance to do it. Because I am, while I have sewn a lot, I'm actually pretty new to the embroidery world, just within the last couple years. So it's fun for me to play around with it and figure it out. And I would love to show you today how how I find embroidery files, and then 2, how to use them. So that's what my plan is. Set back a little bit by trying to figure out some of these technical things and get rid of people that we don't want watching or commenting. And I know some of you guys can probably help with this discussion, because I feel like many of you are probably way more advanced in their embroidery field than I am. So hopefully you guys can add tips if you have to, and share tips that you use to make great embroidery. So, okay, almost done here. So I am working on a couple of outfits for my daughter that will be cute for summer, and I want to add some embroidery embellishment on them. So the first one that I'm working on is a little dress, and it's going to have, let's see, I'll show you the fabric that I'm going to use. So the skirt is, I had just enough of this super cute unicorn fabric. Okay, so, oh my goodness, Kathy, come on. I'm gonna show you today how super simple it is for the combo machines to switch over to the embroidery, because that is all I use, and it's so easy, okay? So we're gonna do it with you. So this is gonna be the skirt, and then the top is gonna be like a tank. It's woven fabric, a tank with a button in the front. And so I thought I would add cute little pockets on it that are have embroidery on them. Okay, so that's what I want to do, is add the embroidery to the pockets. Okay, so I am going to try to switch my phone over here, which I'm using to film, to show you from my account on iBroidery how to get those patterns to your machine. Like I said, some of the super high level machines have Wi-Fi, but the one I'm using does not. And if you have some of the lower level combo machines, you might be in the same boat that I am. So let me bring this over here and switch the camera around. Okay, and see if you can see my computer screen here. Okay, so this is, all right, my very, very messy table, okay? No judgment on that. And I also have a USB stick that I'm going to use to make the transfer. And this new computer, which I love, only has USB-C. So I had to get this little converter here to do the transfer. Okay, so Sarah, yes, I will show you. Oh, so here's my little converter. Okay, And the stand I'm actually using has been dropped one too many times for my phone. And so it's cracked and not tight anymore. But let me do this and then I'll show you, Sarah, when I flip it back around. Okay, so it's so easy. Okay, so in iBroidery, you can go to the design catalogs. Wait, let's see. Let me show you. Or sorry, this is reversed. Let's do there. Okay, so you can go to iBroidery.com. You can go to any embroidery site, but I'm just going to show you on the Brother site how to download your design. But really, you could do this on any site. So I've already checked out. So these designs, which I think I'm going to use this one because it's a 4x4 size, which I think would make a perfect, oh no, that's the hoop size. They're actually quite tiny. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna have tiny, maybe along the top of the pocket. I have to think about, or along the bottom of the pocket, maybe repeat this design twice is what I was thinking. Or repeat this design twice. I don't know. Maybe we'll bring them up and take a vote which one we want to use. I'm going to download both of them. So no matter where you bought your pattern, on Etsy or any design store, the first thing you want to do is download your pattern. And I have created a folder, if I can find it. I think it's in this Emily Documents here. No, I thought it was here. Oh, here, embroidery patterns. Okay, so I try to put all my patterns into this embroidery folder so that I can find them easily, if I can, of course, find the patterns. So then on iBroidery, the great thing is you put in your sewing machine information. So you put in your sewing machine information, so it's already set and gives you the right type of file. On a non-Brother website, you might have to choose your file download, and I'll show you, let me see. I can show you another one that I've bought or got not. Okay, so here's one, Denver Broncos. That was not from iBroidery. So you can see here that there are all these different files or types of files for different machines, and the Brother machines use the PES files. So if you have it right from iBroidery, it will already be set up for that, and if you got it from somewhere else, you're going to have to open up the file and then find the right one for your machine. And if you don't have a Brother machine, you should be able to find which type of embroidery files it uses in your manual. So this 935 PES and 958 PES was what I just downloaded right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy those files and then go over here to my external hard drive USB, which is what I'm using to transfer this. And I'm going to go ahead and paste the files in there. Oops, and looks like I also accidentally copied that Denver Broncos one, which I did not want to do. All right, so I try to keep this USB pretty empty because it takes a while for this to load on your machine. So if you have, 100 embroidery files on here, it just will take that much longer for you to be able to load it into your machine. So I just try to keep exactly what I need. So then I'm going to eject this USB right here. Oops. And so now I can take it over and put that into my machine. Okay, so download, transfer, and then you're going to go. So before I move it, here is, so I have a tripod, and I have the tripod clip thing is screwed into this plastic thing. Now this has been dropped, oops, yep, many, many times, and is actually cracked right here, so it doesn't hold as firmly as I would like it to. But that is what I have my things on there. So hopefully, I forget who was asking, but hopefully that will answer your questions about that. And then Yeah, I like to reverse it. Okay, so I wanted to walk you through just how simple it is. If you have a combo machine, sewing and embroidery, which is what I'm working on, it is so simple to change it out from a sewing machine to an embroidery machine. So before we do put the embroidery pattern on, I just want to show you that process. So the first thing you want to do is turn your machine off, because if you do this without it, it will ask you to restart it anyway. And then you just pull. You don't have to unsnap anything, but you pull off this sewing machine part, and you take your embroidery piece, which this one is a big one, and you snap it in, and that's it. Now I do feel like there's something under here. What is under there? Okay, nothing. So now you have it snapped on, and then you can go ahead and turn your machine back on as well. Okay? So, sorry, I just realized I want to pull this over here because a lot of what we're going to do is going to take place on this side of the machine. So let's show you what we got over here, and then we can move it back for the embroidery part. So a clip that shut out the back. Oh, I didn't see that. Well, that must have been the snap that I heard there. Okay, so I have my USB, and I'm going to plug it right into the spot that's available there. And then on this one, I'm going to hit, serger's in the way. No, a malfunction occurred, which was because it hit my other machine. So, the clip is behind your machine. Okay, so we're going to go to Embroidery Edit. And you can see here that you can grab a your design from many places. So you can plug in using a cord, right? If you want to transfer from your computer using a cable, you can do that. I have transmitting by USB, and so now you can see my two designs right here. Okay, so I'm pulling this one up, and I want to set it, and now we can go ahead and edit the size and all of that. So I think it's as big as it goes right there. I want to make it as big as it is. Let me pull this. I don't know if you guys, I know a little bit harder to see on here. I could flip it back around, but I'm trying to do this quickly. So my design's in the middle. It has 3 colors. I've made it as large as it goes. And now we can duplicate it to create many of them, which I should be able to do, but maybe we'll just add it again. Okay, so now we have a couple, which I think 2 side by side will be a good bottom of the pocket. And you can click and drag, and yes, there's a stylus that goes with this, but I never use it. I probably should. I might have greater, so let's do the size. We're gonna enlarge that one, close, and then try to put those side by side on there. All right, oh, here's the duplicate button, of course. Let's delete that extra one. Okay, so now I have 2 side by side. I do have to change my foot, yep, and I will do that in just a minute. So I want to just make sure that they look like what I want on there. And then, yes, we need to grab your embroidery foot here, okay? Actually, I'm going to move this back because it really is easier. And I feel like you can see better over here. Okay, So changing out the foot, you actually have to remove not only the little clip piece that comes off easily, but also the part that attaches to. So I just have to find I get distracted by one thing and didn't get to another. Okay, so unscrew that. Okay, so you're also taking off this piece. And then your embroidery piece, oh yeah, I was like, wait a second, I don't have anything left, but no, there it is. Your embroidery piece just screws in. There's a screw up here that the other piece was attached, where the other piece was attached, and you just replace that. It goes around the shaft. Place that with the embroidery foot. Okay? All right, so there we have the embroidery foot on. Okay, and now we have to take a look at the of course, I just pop that off and turn the flashlight on. Okay, sorry, goodness, it feels like I'm a hot mess here today, ladies. Okay, we need to take a look at what we're going to embroider on. So you have your hoop, whatever size you're using, and this is the 5x7 hoop that came with my machine. And then I have my pocket fabric with iron-on interfacing on the back, so fusible interfacing. So you can use, there's a million kinds of interfacing, but I'm using the fusible on there today. So I'm hoping to create 2 pockets with this fabric, but we will just be embroidering one of those today. And on your hoop, one thing you want to be aware of is there's 2 little arrows right here. You see those? Okay, 2 little arrows. And so we want to make sure before we do our fabric that we have those lined up so that after you insert your fabric, they still should be lined up, and that will ensure that your hoop is put together correctly. And then once you have your fabric in the hoop, you want to twist and tighten to make sure it's in very securely. Okay, and if you have any puckers in your fabric, you can, usually before I tighten it down, I'll kind of pull on that fabric sticking out to make sure it's taut in there. However, you don't want to pull it so that it's distorted. You want to just pull it so that it's tight. So you can see my interfacing on the back, the front of my fabric. This is the same as the bodice fabric that I'm using, but we're using it here also for the pockets. Okay? So then we want to go ahead and slide this into my machine, and for me, sometimes it'll click in. This one has a little lever you lift up. Sorry, I just want to figure out where the interfacing is. You push it in and then you put the lever down to secure it. Okay, so then we're doing that. Now you'll see on your screen, it will tell you which color is up first for your design, which I love. So then you thread that one on. So it looks like it wants me to put the blue. So it has blue, yellow, and green, and I'm going to do orange, yellow, or orange, green, and blue. So instead of yellow, I will do orange, but the other colors will be the same. Now I will tell you, I don't use the exact embroidery colors suggested. So, you know, it tells you the actual number of embroidery thread to use. It says 017, which is an actual embroidery color, but I've never done that. I always just pick the colors that I want and then use them. I can actually program into the machine the colors that I am actually using, but I'll usually just line it up sort of on the countertop or on my desk and then use those colors instead. But you can be real fancy. They have some awesome ways you can play around with colors and design and mixing things up using the screen on your machine. So that's really fancy. And that's, again, I'm not really so Arnell, she always picks the right codes and then it'll show you those colors on the screen. I'm a baby embroiderer. Some of you are the experts and you do all of those extra little things that make it even better. And I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants to do embroidery. So, well, that's also kind of how I sew. All right. So the other thing I wanted to see is the placement of this design. So I'm actually going to move it. I'm thinking this will be, well, actually I'm going to move this way. Like I said, I think this is going to be on the bottom of the pocket. That's how I'm envisioning it, is a little bit of embroidery along the bottom of the pocket. So you put your hands in and it's real cute. Yeah, I think the bottom of the pocket, because it's, sort of like a border with the flowers. So I'm able to move the design around towards the bottom of my fabric so that I'm not wasting fabric. And right now the needle is in the center of the design, which helps you to envision, okay, it's gonna come over here and it's gonna come over here. And it's actually not gonna be all that big. Let's see, what's it say? Side to side, 48 millimeters. Sometimes I like to envision it millimeters is only 4.8 centimeters, right? So it's tiny, tiny, tiny. I wonder if I want to, well, I will do this, and if I want to add, you always need to pick colors to match whatever you make. Yes, you always do have to pick different colors, but I don't program them into my machine. I just use the colors I want. Whereas some people, you actually can program in the colors that you're choosing, so you see the design as is on your screen, which is a fun feature if you want to actually envision what that looks like. Okay, so I'm thinking this is only 48 millimeters, which is super tiny. But I don't want to make it too big by adding another one. So I might do that after, but I'm going to see how wide this looks first. I want my pocket to probably be 4 inches wide, at least 4 to 5 inches, like a square. But I want to see how this looks first. Okay, so we're just going to start with embroidery and go from there. And the one thing I've actually been wanting to get for like 2 years is, those little curved embroidery scissors for trimming, because those are so fabulous, but I haven't gotten that yet. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're anchoring. Yep, limited amount of colors, yes. Anchoring the stitch, and then before it picks up speed, I like to stop it and trim my long tail so that that doesn't get caught up in the embroidery. There'll still be little pieces that I need to go back and trim later, but that just keeps this long piece from getting caught up in what I'm doing. And then you push start again and watch it keep going on your embroidery. So I have, it says 6 colors because 3 colors times 2 designs. So it's actually gonna make me do all 3 colors and then go back and do all 3 colors again. It doesn't clump them very well. Yeah, but it is tiny, but it's cute. It'll be really cute actually from the bottom of the pocket. So 6 minutes of embroidery, 1 minute each, and then after each one it'll stop and I can just go ahead and change out the colors. So I will have it do this one, and then I will, after I change out the next color, I'll turn the camera so you can see the embroidery up close, because it is fun to watch. If I'm doing this when my kids are home, they will actually come over here and like stare at the machine and just watch it go up and down. So it can be pretty entertaining as well. So I don't know if you guys have any like embroidery tips to share, or embroidery tools that are a must besides your machine that does embroidery. And like I said, a lot of the Brother machines, including this one, have hundreds of built-in designs and lettering as well. So if you don't want to transfer like I did, you can just pick out a design. And there were lots of floral designs already on this machine, but none of them that I felt like fit the style of the little flowers on the fabric that I was trying to match. I don't always use iron-on stabilizer. It's actually really not iron-on interfacing. It's actually iron-on stabilizer. And I don't always use that. But I just happened to see a scrap when I was cleaning something out today, and so I grabbed that. So yeah, you can use there's sticky stabilizer, which is really fun if you are doing a project where your fabric doesn't fit, or I've done like bracelets or things that don't go in the hoop. Like if you were doing a jean jacket, which I've done for people, you can't really hoop the denim. It's too thick. And my automatic needle threader doesn't work very well on this machine, so I have to thread it by hand. So the sticky stabilizer is fun, and then regular stabilizer, there is lots of different thicknesses as well. And then there's some fusible stabilizer as well. So lots of different kinds of stabilizers that you can use, and whatever fits your project best that you're working on. So I think 2 of these files, Sarah, what do you use? The starch is something you put on it. Is that what you're saying? You starch your fabric first? I see you're saying starch, but I didn't maybe catch the context in front of it. Oh, I forgot to flip it around. So, okay, we'll do that for the yellow as it finishes the first design. So again, I'm doing 2 designs side by side of the same to create a little border. Oh, I'm asking what work. No, so you actually do need another layer of something under your fabric to prevent ripping and give more stability for that needle as it punches through the fabric many, many times. So you could starch your fabric to make it thicker, but I would still also use a layer of stabilizer underneath. Okay, and then my machine is telling me that it's time for the yellow, which we're going to use this orange. And all 3 of these colors are extremely close to colors on that unicorn fabric that I'm using. So when it's done, we'll take it out and I'll show you how it looks next to the fabric and close to the flowers that I was trying to match. Okay, so let me bring this over here. Oh, caught on a cord. Okay, so there is what we've done so far, the blue and the green. We're gonna start our next color. So like I say, I give it a couple of stitches to secure, and then I trim off that long tail, and then I start it again and let it finish what it's doing. So this is creating half the design. I have it repeated over here another time. So we will do that one so that we can see the 2 side by side how it looks. I think the colors are good, and we'll see. The design isn't exactly the same style as what I'm working with, but it's really close. So I'm hoping that it will look good enough when it's finished. And on my screen, it tells me how many stitches are left. It really gives you so many details as you're working with this. How many stitches are left, what you're doing on. Orange is much more. Yes, okay, so just wait. Let me reverse this. I'm gonna leave this pointed here so you can see up close what I'm doing. So when it stops, I'm removing the thread. And now it's telling me here on my screen to go back to blue. Okay, so we're going back to blue. I guess that's my only one small complaint. And maybe one of you could tell me, is it possible, like on this where I've repeated the design? So I've done the same design twice. Is it possible to tell the machine to stitch all the blue before it has me change colors? Because now we're just going to do the same thing again, and it seems like it would save more time if I could clump those colors. Does anyone know if that's possible? Oh, embroidery experts. I could probably look it up online, but if someone had the answer right here, I would love to see. Oh, it's reversed again. Let's see. How can I... There you go. Goodness. I was trying to not make it reversed. Okay, so now it's repeating the same blue flowers that we did on the other side. In your software, you can combine colors. So, Michelle, I'm wondering, I probably would do that in the edit one. Yeah, that's something I need to learn how to do because I'm annoyed having to change the colors more than once. And it seems like there's no reason why it couldn't stitch all that. So maybe that's something I need to play around with when I'm done. So the fact, you know, once I can tell sometimes it wants me to do a color again because it's layering it differently. You know, like this pink's going on top of that blue, but these are not layered differently. So yeah, I'll have to play around on here and see if I go back to the design edit where I can layer those colors. I don't see it on this embroidering page, right? Is it on the edit? I'm assuming it's on the edit page, not here on the... I color sort all the time, but it does depend. Yeah, I've done the like color where you mix up the colors so you can see what it looks like in different colors, but I guess I haven't really done where I've made it embroider on the different colors. All right, so now it's telling me to go back to green. So we'll put our green back on. And there are designs that, of course, take a lot longer than 1 minute to do each color. This one is such a tiny little design, and I was disappointed that I wasn't able to find a little bit bigger design, but these flowers were so cute, so I just went with it. And I really like the colors, or the little flower designs. And I actually think this is gonna be a good, you know, by the time I put a 1/2 inch border on either side of the flowers, I think it'll be a good bottom of the pocket. I use almost exclusively white bobbin thread for embroidery. And usually I had a big spool of embroidery bobbin thread. You know how it's nice and thin, but I am out of that. So this was just white thread from a big spool that I had. But what do you use? Does anyone else normally use a different color on their bobbin? I almost always just use white on the bobbin. And then you want to, if you start seeing that color pop up, then you can adjust the tension on your embroidery to make sure that you're not seeing that bobbin thread. We shouldn't be seeing our bobbin thread. So I like having it white because then I can see if my stitches are not working correctly and I'm seeing that bobbin thread pop up. You don't think it's in the machine I have to program for that feature. All right, well, I'll have to look it up, but this, you could be right. I know there are a lot higher level embroidery machines. And this one is a combo machine too, which I love because I can sew on it, but I know that that somewhat limits its features on embroidery is because it also has to share with the sewing side. Whereas if you just have an embroidery machine, you have more features. I'll still do a double check, see if I can figure it out, but I think you could be right that I don't see it. Okay, so in just a minute, we're gonna be able to take this off and see what it looks. So here is my fabric again that I'm trying to match. So I was looking at like these flowers, and these are much more abstract, but similar idea to what I'm doing. And then these little orange flowers. So you can see we have this sort of tealy green, this orange, and this blue, and I'm pulling all of those. Okay, Betty, I'm pulling all of those colors in, and you know, kind of here's some more blue flowers, which will be similar to what I'm having, and I'm hoping that that will kind of be close enough to create. I love pre-wound bobbins. I was actually thinking about trying to pay my 12-year-old to just wind a bunch of bobbins for me and see if but I don't know if I would, if you see both sides, yes, of course. Arnell, that's a great tip. So yes, if you're using a lace or something that you're gonna see through it, you absolutely have to use the same color. I have never embroidered on something so delicate, but that is for sure something to keep in mind. Okay, so here is our design. Very cute. If I extend the pocket out to about here, I think that should be perfect on the bottom of it. And then we're going to, let me take it out of the hoop. All right, so I think it looks pretty cute with this fabric that I have. The design is not exact, but that will make an adorable pocket on there with the pink and the colors that I have. I think that looks really, really fun. Oh, here's a thread to clip. So that is just how easy it is to embroider and how hard it is to clip threads with the dull scissors. But I think that's gonna be really cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a second one. Let's see, so I used that fabric there and I have more stabilizer over here. So the second one I'll probably put over here on my fabric, and then I can, you know, the fabric will be, or the pocket will be double width, double fold. What do I want to say? 2 layers, that's what I want to say. 2 layers of fabric, so you won't actually even feel the embroidery in the back. And then I should have enough fabric here for 2 pockets, and I'll add it on, and pretty soon you should be able to see my final dress tutorial as I finish that up. But I've been wanting to do embroidery, and doing a live show with you guys inspires me to sometimes do projects that I don't otherwise get started. But speaking of inspired, I feel like I'm inspired to right now order a new phone clamp, because this one is being so wobbly today, because I don't move it around, but now seeing what it's like when I have to move it, it's super annoying. So I might just need to splurge the $5 and buy myself a new phone clamp. It's not an expensive one, but anyway, I hope I've inspired those of you who were thinking about embroidery or already have an embroidery machine and haven't started it. And this design actually worked in a 4x4 hoop, which is the smallest embroidery hoop, and sometimes comes on more inexpensive machines. So you can do fun designs even on small hoops, up to huge designs, of course, on huge hoops. So fun project. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a live show next week because my parents will be in town. So I'll keep you posted. If you don't see me, ask in the group. But if you don't see me, I'm alive. I'm just visiting with my parents and I'm taking the week off. But I'll be back in 2 weeks for sure. Maybe next week, and we'll see from there. So anyway, oh, the Dream Maker. Yes, you should be inspired. That's an amazing machine and it can do so many things. So use it and enjoy it, and I'll see you guys soon. So fun.